Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you as we await the dawning of a terrific Tuesday ahead. It looks like in weather anyway. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. October 20th is the date.
And now at 6:30, dozens of documents and video of police interviews give some new details on the search for a missing Central Kentucky mother.
Police in Southern Kentucky are looking for a robbery suspect after they say her accomplice killed himself when cornered by police.
And find out why officials are expecting a significant number of ticket challenges, maybe some counterfeit tickets, at tonight's Taylor Swift concert at Rupp Arena.
40s outside this morning, still on the cool side, but not as cold as we have been the past couple of mornings. We get into the afternoon, 68 degrees, really good looking day, nice feeling day too. We have even warmer temperatures than that, well into the 70s. I'll show you that in just a few minutes.
And let's get right to the news on WKYT. We are tracking the investigation right now into a robbery in Southern Kentucky that turned deadly.
Somerset police say a man and woman robbed the Goodwill in the Tradewinds shopping center last night, but when police chased after them, they say one of the suspects turned a gun on himself. WKYT's Hillary Thornton's at our live desk with details.
Police say this all started after 49-year-old Albert Sweetheart and 33-year-old Lindsay Cox walked into Goodwill with a gun, robbing the store and then running off. Shortly after being called there to the scene, officers spotted the two suspects and started chasing them. Investigators say when a police officer cut off Sweetheart near the intersection of West Columbia and Park Avenue, they could clearly see his handgun as he retreated into the driveway of a home where he then shot and killed himself. Somerset police say they did not fire any shots and will continue their robbery investigation as Kentucky State Police conduct their own independent death investigation. Meanwhile, the female suspect, Lindsay Cox of Whitley City, remains on the run. Police say she should be considered armed and dangerous. They're asking anyone with information about where she could be to contact your local police department. At the live desk, Hillary Thornton, back to you.
All right, Hillary, thank you. Family members of a missing Nelson County mother say they have ended their daily searches for her. Crystal Rogers has not been seen since back on July 3rd. Last week, the Nelson County Sheriff's Office said investigators believe she is dead, and they have named her boyfriend as a suspect in her disappearance. So far, no charges have been filed. Her family says, based on the new information from investigators, they don't feel it's necessary to continue daily searches. New this morning, someone's home was destroyed in an early morning fire in Jessamine County. That fire broke out about 4 o'clock this morning on Sulphur Well Road south of Nicholasville. Firefighters say the home is a total loss. The homeowner was not there when the fire started. The fire chief says there were not any hydrants near the home. His crews were able to quickly get water to the scene.
We're having to shuttle water in. We do have hydrants that are right down the road, but instead of laying a big long line of hose, we're tanker shuttling.
A tough effort there this morning. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Well, today a man accused in a deadly hit and run in Morgan County is expected to plead guilty. State police charged Tony Kegley Jr. with 2 counts of manslaughter. They say he crashed into and killed Tony Ross and Elizabeth Thornsberry in November of 2013. Police say a tip through Facebook led them to focus on Kegley. Lexington police are looking for a third suspect involved in a violent robbery and shooting. This happened at a home on Windy Knoll Drive near Manowar and Armstrong Mill. 2 of the suspects are headed to court today, including a man who was shot during the crime. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Lexington with more on this.
Good morning, Rebecca, and they will be appearing in court about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, investigators are saying that there were actually 2 shootings during this home invasion, during this attempted robbery. They say that one of the accused robbers was shot, as well as one of the people who was inside the home. Now, officers tell us they think there are 3 robbers connected to this case. They say that third robber, who was the one that shot the person in the home, has not been caught. Police have arrested the 2 men, 18-year-old Rayvon Brown and 18-year-old Jonathan James, who they also say played a part in this crime. They say the 3 men targeted a home on Windy Knoll Drive around 1:30 yesterday afternoon because they knew one of the people who lived there. Police are not saying what their motive was, but we have learned that one of the people in the home is now facing drug charges. Police say there were 3 people in the house and they overpowered Brown and held him until officers got there. According to investigators, James ran off, but he showed up later at the police roll call office on Center Parkway with a gunshot wound. We're told his injuries are not life-threatening. There's no word at this time about the condition of the person who was shot in the house. Now this morning, police say they are continuing to look for that third person who pulled the trigger. They are asking anyone with information to call them. As for the two teenagers who have already been arrested, they are both being held on a $10,000 bond. They will stand before a judge here on the 3rd floor of the Fayette County District Courthouse, 1 o'clock this afternoon, for the first time. They're both charged with first-degree robbery. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. 6:36 now on WKYT this morning. A man suspected of several armed robberies around Lexington is going to be arraigned today. Police say Levanta Davis committed 5 robberies over the last 2 months. He was already in jail, accused of crashing a stolen car into a Lexington house. Police say Davis robbed Common Grounds on Heartland Parkway twice, as well as a Krispy Kreme, the Dairy Mart on East Reynolds Road, and the Subway on East Main Street. New this morning, authorities in Washington state say they have suspended the search for a Kentucky hiker who has been missing now for more than a month. Sheriff's deputies say Austin Oldfield of Louisville told his girlfriend that he was going to spend 2 weeks camping in Squamish County near the Oregon border. Last week, deputies found a car connected to Oldfield. Deputies say over the weekend, dozens of people went out to look for him and didn't find anything.
What Lexington police say started as a joyride for some teenagers ended in a crash. Police say a 15-year-old took his mother's car while she was asleep and took his 12- and 17-year-old siblings for a ride. But police say he crashed into a car on Deauville Drive in the Cardinal Valley neighborhood. A woman in that car had to be cut out of it. She was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. No one else was hurt. Police say the 15-year-old will be cited for driving without a license. A Harlan County magistrate has been arrested after what state police call an investigation that goes back 6 years. Police charged James Howard with misuse of confidential information and abuse of public trust. It's a connection of 5 checks police say Howard issued to a company that he manages. Police say more arrests are possible. In a statement, Howard said he didn't do anything wrong.
Here's a story with some intrigue. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission is asking for help as it investigates an unusual object found in a barn at Keeneland. The commission won't say what that object is, but they did say it was found in Keeneland Barn 21, which is the TCO2 testing barn. They're asking anyone who may know something to give them a call. Humana says shareholders have overwhelmingly approved the Louisville company's planned $37 billion takeover by Aetna. Humana says more than 99% of shares voted at the meeting were in favor of the deal, which is subject to regulatory approval. It would create the second largest managed care company in the United States. Well, a lot of excitement this morning. A lot of folks getting ready for this big show. Thousands of Taylor Swift fans will be in Lexington tonight for her much anticipated concert.
Rubberina warning some folks about possible ticket challenges. Concert goers are being told to be on the lookout for counterfeit tickets and new print-at-home tickets. Arena officials say people who bought tickets on a secondary market like Craigslist should arrive early tonight to make sure that those tickets are valid. Only tickets purchased at the ticket office or at Ticketmaster are guaranteed to be legitimate. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, heads up on that.
Well, tonight the Anderson County Sheriff will be on Family Feud.
Right. Sheriff Troy Young, his wife, and his 3 sons will be one of the families on this evening's show. Young says of the 20 families that made it past the rounds of interviews and auditions, they are one of only 5 who were actually recorded. Before you judge his performance tonight, Young says it's a lot easier when you're sitting on the couch at home. The show airs tonight at 7 on the CW Lexington. Just gives you a little hint there.
I just love yeah, that's a good show, and that host is so funny, and it's always interesting to see local people.
Sure, so it's going to be a lot of fun to follow the sheriff.
Well, let's get a check of traffic, see what's happening out there this morning.
Let's go out to Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic bright and early. Don?
Hey, good morning. Inner loop of Man-O-War just past Tates Creek Road. That turns out to be a stalled car, not a wreck. So just one lane is blocked, and it should be cleared, hopefully, by the time you head out the door and get in that area. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you what to expect as you plan to head out this morning with a live look at downtown Lexington. That's West Main and Vine Street. Traffic's coming to life there. Downtown looks good. On our Waze map, the north side still looks okay. The circle past Russell Cave, North Broadway. Normal, just one click of the light to get through there. And the interstate. No problems on 75. We're watching watching that for you this morning, coming in from Scott County and 64 from Frankfort. So far, police are running radar on 75 at the 111 southbound, so just be careful. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, there's a little heads up on that for you, and everybody be careful this morning. It's 6:40 now, 20 before 7, and WKYT this morning on the air with all the latest.
It's an old picture that's expected to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. Find out what historians say is so special about this photo of ice, or piece of ice seen in the photo in particular, after weather.
We are in the 40s this morning. That's much better than the past few mornings. But then we head throughout the next few days to really dry conditions and also mild weather. We'll get into that forecast coming up next.